everyone, my name is Kaite and today I'm going to show you how to crochet these adorable amigurumi bunnies. I used the pattern from this Crochet Amigurumi animal kit that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and this is the one from it. And this one right here I just used scrap yarn around the house. I also want to mention that Erit Studio made a video using art kit. I'll leave the link right over here, so please check it out. It came out beautiful. But today let's go ahead and crochet these bunnies. In this kit you will find instructions. So right over here on this side it shows you how to crochet basic stitches, and then on this side you will be able to see all the steps that you need to work on to crochet this bunny right here. And then it also comes with some yarn with the hook. It doesn't say what hook size it is, but I actually used a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook to make this bunny, and it's the same size. So if you don't have this, you can just use a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, or you can actually use a different size hook, but the bunny size will be different. It also came with some stuffing and with a plastic needle, some embroidery thread, and this amigurumi eyes. So if you don't have this kit, you can always just get whatever you have around the house and you'll be able to crochet this bunny. I'm going to be using the hook that I have, the 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, instead of this one. But you can use theirs if you have it, it's totally fine. And right here for part 1, they want us to start with legs. And it tells us round 1, 2, 3, and each round we should have 8 single crochets, and here's the diagram of how it should be. But it doesn't tell us how to start. I'm going to be starting with the magic ring. You can also slip knot, chain 2, and work your single crochets using the first chain. So let's go ahead and start with the magic ring. And right here we're going to chain 1. And into this magic ring, let's go ahead and work 8 single crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You can go ahead and pull on this yarn tail to tighten the center. And you're going to need some sort of a stitch marker. I'm going to be using a piece of yarn. Go ahead and place your stitch marker in front of the first single crochet of round 1. For round 2, we're just going to work 1 single crochet around. So you're going to pick up each stitch and work 1 single crochet around. And at the end, we should have 8 single crochets. So you're going to repeat this for round 2 and then for round 3. So round 2 and round 3, just work 1 single crochet around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. You should have 8 single crochets. At the end of round 3, this is how it looks like. So we have a total of 3 rounds with 8 single crochets. It doesn't tell us how to end this. All it tells us is to just work single crochets for 3 rounds. And then they want us to make 2 legs and link them together with the 3rd round of the 2nd leg, which doesn't really show us how to, but I'm going to show you how I worked on mine. So right here, we're going to go ahead and finish this round 3. And to do that, we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, and go ahead and cut your yarn. Pull out your hook, and you can also tighten the center right here. And then I left my yarn tails inside, but you can cut yours if you like to, but it kind of adds a little bit of a stuffing. So here's our first leg. Go ahead and work same exact way on the 2nd leg, and then don't fasten off. We'll link the 2 legs together, and I'll show you how it worked on mine. We finished working 3 rounds for the 2nd leg. And right over here, using the first leg, we're just going to join them together with the slip stitch. So go ahead and insert your hook into the first leg, any single crochets, and then we're just going to slip stitch them together. So right here, we joined the 2 legs together, and we're going to continue working on the body. So part 2 right here is showing us that we need to work the body just working around. So here's round 4 all the way to round 13 will be the body of the bunny. And for round 4, we need to work 16 single crochets plus 2. So total of 18 single crochets for round 4. So that means that we need to increase. And we're going to work an increase using this first slip where we slip stitched. We're going to work 2 single crochets using that stitch. So we're going to chain 1. It doesn't tell us to chain 1, but we're going to chain 1. It'll just be easier for us. And going back into that same stitch where we slip stitched into, we're going to work 2 single crochets. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. So right here we worked our 1 increase that they wanted us to do, and we're just going to continue and work single crochets around now without increases. So here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to work this yarn tail in, so I'm just going to hold on to it. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So right here we work 10 single crochets using the first leg. And now we're going to jump to the second leg and continue working 8 single crochets. So right over here, skip all this and jump right into this stitch right here, right next to it, and just continue working single crochets. You can remove the stitch marker. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So right here we worked around 4 and we have a total of 18 single crochets, and we joined the legs together, and this ends round 4. Now for round 5 they want us to work 18 single crochets plus 2, which means we need to increase 1 time. So we need to have a total of 20 single crochets. I'm going to place the stitch marker back. That will be easier for me to know that's the end of round, or the beginning of the round, whichever way you want to look at it. So right over here into this stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets. Here's 1 and 2. And we finished our increase for the round 5. And now we're just going to work single crochets around. So that's 2. And then you're going to pick up each stitch and work a single crochet around. And at the end of this round, we should have 20 single crochets. So continue working single crochets around. So you're going to work single crochets all around until you get to the stitch marker, and you should have 20 single crochets, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 5, we worked a total of 20 single crochets. Now for round 6 and 8, they want us to work just 1 single crochet around. So there's no increases. So we're just going to do that. We're going to go ahead and work single crochets into each stitch around. We're not increasing, we're just working single crochets around. For round 6, 7, and 8, continue working your single crochets around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. At the end of round 8, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 20 single crochets. For round 9, what they want us to do is decrease 2 stitches. So at the end we should have 18 single crochets. We're going to start with the decrease. So right over here, using this front 2 stitches, we need to work them into 1 stitch. So go into the front loop, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch and repeat. So only the front loop, pick it up, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And now into the next stitches, we're just going to work single crochet. So here's single crochet and then single crochet. Continue working around, just single crochets around, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Coming to the end of round 9, and I have 2 stitches left. Let's go ahead and work 1 more decrease. So we worked a decrease in the beginning of the round, and let's go ahead and work 1 more decrease using the last 2 stitches. Same way, pick up the front loop, yarn over, pull through, go into that last stitch, the front loop, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And now we should have 18 single crochets. And for round 10, they just want us to work one single crochet around. So that's what we're going to do. So you go ahead and remove your stitch marker, place it again in front of the first single crochet. And now just work one single crochet around. And at the end of this round, you should have 18 single crochets, and then I'll meet you then. At the end of round 10, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 18 single crochets. For round 11, they want us to work 3 decreases, and you can place them anywhere you like. So I'm just going to start with 1 decrease in the beginning. So let's go ahead and work decrease, same as before. So here's our first decrease. And now I'm just going to work 1 single crochet using the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and work our next decrease. And let's work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and work our next decrease. And now we have 6 stitches left. We're just going to work 1 single crochet into those last 6 stitches. And now at the end of this round, round 11, we should have 15 single crochets. For round 12, they want us to repeat and work 3 decreases again by working our first decrease. And now let's go ahead and work 3 single crochets. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and work another decrease. And let's work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And let's go ahead and work our last decrease. And right over here we have 3 stitches left, and into those last stitches go ahead and work 1 single crochet. At the end of round 12, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 12 single crochets. For round 13, they want us to work a total of 6 decreases. So right here where it says -6, we need to work 6 decreases, and at the end we should have 6 single crochets. So all we're going to do is just work a decrease around. So pick up the front loop of the first stitch, and then going to the next stitch, pick up the front loop of that stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And you're going to repeat this around. Right here I have 2 stitches left. I'm just going to work my last decrease. And at the end we have 6 single crochets. And this ends part 2. For round 14 we need to add 6 stitches. So we're going to increase 6 times. So right over here we're going to go ahead and work 2 single crochets around. So you're going to pick up each stitch and work 2 single crochet into each stitch. So right here is our first one. Go ahead and work 1 single crochet, and then go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochets, and then repeat, going to the next stitch and work 2 single crochets into that stitch, and then again into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Continue working around, working 2 single crochets around, and then I'll meet you back at the end of round 14. You should have 12 single crochets. At the end of round 14 we have a total of 12 single crochets, and this is how it looks like. Now for round 15 we need to go ahead and add 12 more stitches. So for this round we're just going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So right over here is my first stitch. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and work 2 single crochets using that stitch. And now we're just going to repeat, going to the next stitch and work 2 single crochets. And this is the pattern for this round. It's just working 2 single crochets into each stitch around. Continue working and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 24 single crochets. At the end of round 15, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 24 single crochets. Now for round 16, all the way to round 19, they just want us to work one single crochet round, and at the end of each round, we should have 24 single crochets. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's round 16. And all you're going to do is just work one single crochet into each stitch around. For round 16, all the way to round 19, and I'll meet you at the end of round 19. We'll move on together. At the end of round 19, this is how it looks like. For round 20, 21, and 22, they want us to work decreases, so -6 stitches for each round. So let's go ahead and do that. So for round 20, we're going to start by working one single crochet into the first 2 stitches. And into the following stitch, work a decrease. They didn't tell us where to place decreases. That's okay, we're just going to work 6 decreases total. So that was our first one, we need 5 more. So let's go ahead and work one single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And let's go ahead and work a decrease. And let's repeat this pattern, work 2 single crochets and work another decrease. Continue working like this and I'll meet you at the end of this round. We'll finish it together. At the end of round 20, this is how it looks like. And we have a total of 18 single crochets. Let's go ahead and stuff the bunny before we move on. Start with small amounts and start with the legs and then move on to the body. And you can always use the end of your hook to kind of guide it where you want it to go. And that's what I'll do. I'm just going to continue and stuff this. I finished stuffing the body, and before we move on to the head, let's go ahead and add the amigurumi eyes. And in the picture, they place their eyes, so I feel like this is round 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, between round 18 and 17, and it looks like it's 3 stitches over, and that's what we're going to do. So right over here, it doesn't have to be exact, so use round 13 or 14. So here's round 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I place my eyes between round 17 and 18 and I have 1, 2, and 3 stitches over. And that's where I place my eyes. And all I need to do now is just go ahead and use the little plastic fasteners on the back and just place them in. And if you don't have these, you can always add beads. For this one, for this bunny, what I did is I added beads. So you can sew them on and glue them on. So I'm just going to do the same thing to this eye. Looking at the picture, they stitched the nose using one round down, about 2 stitches over, and then we have this line coming down. And that's what I'm going to do. So right over here, using our bunny, we're going to come 1 round below the eyes, right in the middle. Go ahead and start there. Then come out, leave a long yarn tail, and then just come about 1.5 stitch over. You want to center it. Using this here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple more stitches. So I'm just repeating same exact thing that we did before. Once you're done sewing on the line, let's go ahead and add one more line right in the middle over here. So coming to in the center of this line that you sewed on, right underneath the stitches, bring it out. And then come one round below. And here's our little line. You can add another line if you like to, just by repeating same thing. And to secure it, you can make a knot on the back. Here's our finished eyes and the nose. You can go ahead and cut this or just leave it inside a stuffing. Let's go ahead and continue stuffing the head with the rest of the stuffing that we have. Right over here, we finished stuffing the head. And I have some left over. I'm just going to keep this for later on. We'll add some more once we finish this round. So for round 21, we're just going to decrease again, just like we did for round 20. And we're going to start by working one single crochet into the first stitch. And now work a decrease using the next two stitches. And you're going to repeat, work one single crochet into the next stitch, and now work a decrease. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. You should have 12 single crochets. At the end of round 21, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 12 single crochets. For round 22, we just need to work 6 decreases. So we're going to start with just working decreases all around. So here's 1, and then continue adding the rest of them. 2, 3. Before you finish, you can stuff the head more if you want to. I used up all the stuffing, and this is how the head looks like. I need to add one more decrease, so right over here is my 6th decrease for round 22, and at the end we have 6 single crochets. So looking at the pattern, they didn't tell us how to finish this, but what we're going to do is we're just going to leave a long yarn tail and just sew this together, and I'll show you how to do that. To finish round 22, what we're going to do is slip stitch into the next stitch. So right over here, pick up your stitch and slip stitch into that stitch. Chain 1 and cut a long yarn tail. We're going to sew this shut. Pull out your hook, tighten it. And let's go ahead and use the needle. And right over here, we're just going to add a running stitch. So we're just going to go back and forth. So right over here, I'm going to pick up this stitch and come out. And then using the following stitch, go back in and repeat that. Come out and then go right back in. And then one more time. And now pull on this yarn tail and it'll close it for you. And we can just hide the yarn tail using any of the side stitches right over here. Bring it out. Going back into that same area, just come right out somewhere else. It doesn't matter where. Just bring it towards the back. And then you can repeat this one more time. Like that. And then you can cut this yarn tail. Let's go ahead and move on to the next steps. So right over here we're at step 4, and step 4 wants us to crochet the arms. Each arm has 6 rounds of single stitches, so they want us to make 2. And right over here it starts with round 1 and it has 6 single crochets, and then we're just repeating round 1 until we get to round 6, and all of these are going to have 6 single crochets, so there's no increases. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start with the magic ring, chain 1, and go ahead and work 6 single crochets into this magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's too hard to hold on to, pull on this yarn tail. 5 and 6. So round 1 is done. Pull on this yarn tail more. And then now for round 2 all the way to round 6, we're just going to repeat round 1. We're going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet around. So pick up each stitch and work 1 single crochet around. And at the end of each round, you should have 6 single crochets. So continue working like this for round 2 all the way to round 6. Make 2 of the same arms, and then I'll meet you back. We'll move on to the next step. Right over here, I finished working 6 rounds, and this is how the arm looks like. To end this, we're just going to slip stitch using the next stitch, chain 1, and leave a long yarn tail for sewing. Pull out your hook, tighten it, and you can also tighten this yarn tail for round 1 where we started. And you're going to need 2 of these arms. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. For step 5, we need to work on the ears, and each ear has 6 rounds of single increasing and decreasing stitches, and they want us to make 2. And right here is the round 1 starts with 6 single crochets, and then round 2 6 plus 6, which means we have to increase. And then round 3 and 4, we're just going to work 12 stitches. And then for round 5, we're going to start decreasing, which is minus 3 stitches. And then for round 6, we're just going to work 9 single crochets. And I'll explain all this as we go on with each round. Let's go ahead and start with the magic ring. Chain 1. And now work 6 single crochets into this magic ring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull on this yarn tail, tighten the center, add your stitch marker, and round 2 we need to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So right over here, pick up your first single crochet and work 2 single crochets into that stitch. And repeat, going to the next stitch and work 2 single crochets. And this is the pattern for round 2, so just work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. At the end of round 2, this is how it looks like, and we have a total of 12 single crochets. For round 3 and 4, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Pick up each stitch and work 1 single crochet around for a total of 2 rounds. And I'll meet you at the end of round 4. At the end of round 4, this is how it looks like. For round 5, we need to work 3 decreases. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 1 single crochet into the first stitch and work 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And now let's go ahead and work a decrease. And let's repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Now work a decrease. And let's repeat that one more time. Work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And we have 2 stitches left. Let's go ahead and work a decrease. And this ends round 5, and we have 9 single crochets. Now for round 6, we're just going to work 1 single crochet around. Pick up each stitch and work 1 single crochet around, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end of round 6, we have a total of 9 single crochets. Let's go ahead and end the same way by slip stitching into the following stitch. Chain 1 and cut a long yarn tail for sewing. And now you're just going to repeat same thing to one more ear. Part 6 is the last part, and what they want us to do is just assemble the bunny. We already worked on the face, so that's done. Let's go ahead and sew on the ears. First thing we're going to do with the needle is just fold it in half. So right over here I have my yarn tail on the side, and then fold it like this. And then just add a couple of stitches to hold it in place. You can pick up as many as you can. And this is how it looks like. And then you're going to repeat the same thing to this one. But to sew this on, I'm just going to use this last round right over here and just kind of place it on the side of it. So right here is we added the running stitches. So somewhere over here on the side. The way they have it is close together. And that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of place them close together using this round and just sew it in place. And let's go ahead and repeat same thing with this ear. We're going to fold it in half, add a couple of stitches to hold it in place, and then sew it right next to this one. Right over here where the neck is, I'm just going to bring the arm, kind of fold it in half. It'll be easier to sew it on. And I'm just going to use the side and just sew it on to the body. And here's our finished bunny. You can add a pom-pom to the back if you like to, or leave it like this. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.